Hi, everybody. All right, we are gonna get our meeting going. Jeremy, thank you, sir. All right. So first we're gonna do our roll call.
Phil Jordan.
Here.
Glickman.
Here.
Lonegro.
Here.
Roth.
Here.
Shear.
Here.
Sturbins.
Here.
Warsh.
Here. I don't believe we have any public comments tonight, so I'm not gonna read to you guys that whole spiel. So, moving on, superintendent's reports. You're up, Scott.
Excellent. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your time and attention. We have, first up, an exciting update. We are going to talk a little bit about our school logos. So this has not been a major use of our time, but definitely something that's part of a larger project related to communication and engagement. So if you look at the current strategic plan on the board there are 3 objectives in communication and engagement that we were focusing on. One of them was ensuring consistent communication strategies across schools. The other was ensuring website presence communicates inclusivity. And then the last was improving communication structures for crisis events. So while these things don't relate necessarily all to logos, we did recognize some inconsistencies in our past logos. If you go to the next slide. So we had a bit of a variation, and some of those were developed at different points in time, et cetera, et cetera. So we now have a much more unified approach, and you can see even more on our website. We have a branding page. And really what we're trying to do here is just celebrate the community and highlight all of the great work happening across the schools. Also create some equity across the schools with everyone having the same level of polish with their presentation of their school. This is part of a much bigger effort. The logos are just really the tip of the iceberg on this. As you can tell, we updated the website, which we've already talked about before. We did work with a graphic artist on this, so you'll see if you click on any one of those accordion drop downs on the right, every school has a consistent series of different fonts as well as the logo itself. We've even gone as far as getting consistent with the school colors along the way. We had some input from administration. We were really trying to accelerate this and had hoped to have it done much earlier in the year, but the process did take a bit longer to do it right. The other driver of this was an update to signage that is more than likely to come as we work to finalize the Early Childhood Center. We're also looking at consistent signage on the school buildings across the district, including a possible upgrade to Jane Stenson as well, to just have that consistent feel to represent the high quality campuses that we have, as well as the high quality staff. So again, a small thing, but part of a much bigger district communication strategy. Communication is coming up a lot in the strategic planning currently. We are definitely going to have 2 goals, if not 3, that focus on much more robust engagement and developing a plan to reach more families. So more to come on that over the summer, as well as with the strategic plan coming up at the next May board meeting. But just wanted to introduce the logos themselves. We are sending or have sent a communication out today, just minutes ago. And I'm getting an update on the spot that we already had 114 views on the website just in the last few hours to take a look at the new logos. So very exciting, happy to have the logos. Some have names, some don't. So we'll come back with more information should they all receive names along the way.
Also, shout out to Emily for helping and giving guidance.
Thank you very
so that
much.
They're cool in part of this century.
We do have some in-house graphic artist expertise, so I do want to give a shout out as well. Appreciate the help, Emily, for getting that going, as well as the Deanna Juarez and Derek Sen, who helped both with the website as well as some of the upcoming communications. So we're looking at, again, consistent templates and things like that, just to make the high quality nature of the district shine even more. Related to the Early Childhood Center, it is on time and within budget. We are still progressing and on track to have that open up as planned for the next school year. We recently had windows, drywall is even up. They even started painting a little bit on the inside. So definitely coming to shape even more. In terms of key dates, a couple of fun things coming up. We heard before about outdoor ed. All 3 elementary schools will be in outdoor ed between May 4th to May 7th. Our Teacher Appreciation Week will be the following week, May 11th to the 15th. Teacher Appreciation Day will be Wednesday, May 13th. We have a series of celebrations throughout, but that will be the day on which the district recognizes all of our amazing teachers and members of our EA. May 14th is district-wide in-person registration opportunity. So at Old Orchard Junior High, any parent who wishes to receive in-person support for registration, they can go to Old Orchard. We'll be sending more communication out about that. Our next board meeting is May 21st. Monday, May 25th is Memorial Day. It's a day of no school. Wednesday, May 27th is Eid, also a day of no school. June 2nd, 8th grade graduation, right around the corner at Niles West. Excited about that, 7 p.m. And Monday, June 8th is the last day of school for our students K-8. Our next board meeting is June 18th. And just a reminder, the district is closed on Friday, June 19th for Juneteenth. Okay? Those are the key dates. We had 7 FOIAs between the dates of March 14th to April 10th. March 19th, the district received a request from Justin Wienig from Starbridge requesting all executed contracts, purchase agreements, and purchase orders with PD services, including any exhibits, addenda, or amendments that are in effect or have been in effect in the last 3 years. The response was sent on March 26th. March 20th, the district received a request from Brian Gavelin from the Illinois Education Association requesting and writing for job descriptions of the position cybersecurity specialist in the district. Response sent March 27th. March 24th, district received a request from CT Mills from Public Info Access requesting copies responsible to those who, are overseeing functional areas of the district regarding areas of curriculum, career, and CTE items in STEM, ELL, tech, library media services, core academic subjects, English language arts, math. Basically, they wanted Christy's email. So we gave her that email on March 31st. March 24th, the district received a request from Christy Agarwal requesting concerns and records relating to a student. The response was sent on March 25th. March 28th, the district received a commercial request from
Sherry Reed.
From Smart Procure requesting any and all purchasing records from January 14th to current, and that information is pending. April 2nd, the district received a commercial request from Justin Wienig from Starbridge requesting access and copies to FOIA items related to organizations or contractors from January 1st to the current date. The response is pending. April 7th, the district received a commercial request from O'Shea Smith from Sunlight Access requesting electronic summary of purchase orders issued by the district related to looks like vendor name, description of purchase or payment, total price amount paid, and the response is also pending. Those are the 7 FOIAs since the last board meeting. I think that is it for the superintendent update.
It is. All right, so the next item of business are the board updates. Our updates will be organized into 2 categories, liaisons and committees. We, as we say every meeting, might not have updates on specific meetings or events, but we're just gonna always name them so that we can remain consistent. So first up is Ed Red with Emily.
All right. There's a lot of action happening, and I prepared a whole thesis for you that I won't read word for word. This is a compilation of, we had some representatives talking at the last meeting. This is current as of this morning, so if anything happened today, you can go look it up on the Illinois sites. So one of the biggest issues that Edred's working on is the budget mandated categoricals, which is always underfunded, and their estimate is that in order for schools so the state tells us what to do, and then it doesn't give us any money to do that. So the school districts figured out that we need to have $761 million to be fully funded for mandated categoricals, which is nowhere near the current funding. the governor's current proposal would lower operational levels below our current rates. And it would keep districts, the state board's recommendation would keep the districts roughly flat, just maintaining the current standing. So we're working with, there's Representative Sherlock on a resolution highlighting this underfunding and its separation from the EBF. Leadership approval is being sought, committee hearing is being targeted for next week. This is really important too because this doesn't affect us, but there was a huge school bus company acquired so one acquired the other and the prices all went up. Also transportation, fuel costs are going up, parts costs going up, everything's going up and the funding is not going up. The representatives that were in the discussion, they were like, yeah, we know this, and they'll continue to advocate. The best thing that we can do is call our representatives and let them know this is a big issue. The representative Didek said that he's recommending that IASA, sorry, there's a million of these, I won't read them all, y'all know what they are. They're working together to have one unified message to the state, because right now everyone's sort of advocating on their own sides, and hasn't been working. Also, in the discussion, one of the board members from another school in the ed-red community mentioned that that special education categorical funding has been at 30% since 1969, despite the huge growth in identified students and the costs for those students. And then we got into a big discussion about the structural tax inequity in our state, which we know is the 8th most regressive in Illinois, and which puts a big reliance on property taxes, commercial and private. Anyway, that's one to this will never end. So just call your representatives and let them know what you think, because let's see. So there's some really hot ones going on. There's House Bill 4416. It's the unemployment insurance for education support professionals. Basically, this would require school districts to pay unemployment benefits to support staff during summer months and under non-working periods. However, a lot of the school districts represented already do that. They either prorate the pay over a year or they have another situation. You can look into more of that. That's happening right now. We also talked about the education shortage in relation to that. There's also another interesting thing, House Bill 5478, which is addressing the up to $106 million in revenue that's been lost due to dysfunction in Cook County Property Tax Administration, which Kenya knows all about. There were a few reps carrying this bill, and you can call and make a big deal about it because they really botched that one up. There's another bill about impact fees that's pretty hot to watch. There's a really interesting one about ultra processed foods in schools, which they haven't defined what ultra processed foods are, and they're leaving it up to the Illinois Department of Health to do that, but that definition changes all the time. So that puts a huge burden on our schools to individually manage what is and isn't compliant with their definition of ultra processed foods. But generally we know that they are packaged snacks, chicken nuggets, chips, baked goods that come in plastic, stuff like that. But the real sticking point is that definition can shift over time, and they need to figure out how to deal with that. It's just a big administrative burden. The same legislation is in Arizona, Utah, Arkansas, Maryland, Texas, Tennessee, Delaware. So we're just part of the movement. There's another bill about adult changing stations that need to be in all new construction. There's a bill about student rights, about their tech and their biometric data, which is a really important one to keep your eyes on, which I will. There's a bill about notice to remedy. There's a bill about world language requirements, which is one of the big issues that ed-red's following this year. We're still working on law enforcement procedures. We're still working with the Latino Policy Forum on that. And basically, the state changed a bunch of people's staff around and nobody's there to answer questions. So they're still working on that. They're working on, the governor has indicated that he's supporting minor fixes for safe harbor compliance with the Tier 2 pension federal laws, and that it will be an ongoing conversation. We were also talking about the voucher programs, and and they're kind of waiting for the feds to sort of set the tone, but no federal rules have been released yet, and they're just kind of waiting and seeing. There's a big deal right now too about the Power Act, which is Senate Bill 4016, House Bill 5513, which has a lot to do with data centers and their impact on municipal entities like school districts and park districts. So that one is a huge deal, and it's in committee right now, and it hasn't really ramped up, but it's a hot topic nationally in the news, so I'm sure we'll get some more information about that. Kenya will love this. There's a thing that passed the House. It's the interfund transfers. So now you can transfer funds between accounts through June 2029, previously set up to expire in June 2026. It passed 109 to 0. April. Also, House Bill 4535 it says e-learning on election days. Schools used at polling places may hold e-learning days without those days counting against the district's 5 emergency days. Passed 81 to 25, and Senator Villanueva is the state sponsor and is carrying it enthusiastically. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other bills passed by the House this week. I think notably in here, 7th and 8th graders may enroll in required high school courses. They've updated trauma-informed practices in regional superintendent institutes, and they formally defined kindergarten play-based learning, which is pretty cool. There's other things too. I'll pass this around if you want to read it. Oh, there's a couple more. They legislated share tables for unused food, and there's another big omnibus thing that they're using to just kind of clean up some of the old language. But that's a lot of stuff. You're welcome. I could have read this word for word and taken 5 more minutes, but we have a member meeting in May. We also have our big mini summit. It's a big summit, even though it's mini, and it's really fun, and I love going to that. And registration's open, or Monday, and I would like to register for that. And then session ends on May 31st, and that's it. Thank you. That's a lot, but this is like the one time a year that they do stuff, so
Yeah.
I want to tell you what they're doing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Jeremy, anything from IASB? I presume no. Okay. Ms. Shear, do you have anything from NTDSE?
I got to play the role of Jill
Yeah.
last month.
Oh,
so
why did I look at Shear?
I know,
I thought it was like a basketball
Like I don't even
player
know you.
Hi,
doing like a
I'm
no-look pass kind
Yeah,
of thing.
I was busy calling bingo at Derbyshire.
Yes, you were.
It was a good meeting. It's hard to compete with the explosion from EdRed, but a couple things that were really impressive. Several NTDSE employees have been recognized by different organizations for their remarkable work. One of them, Becca Canastra, was recognized by Keshet, a local organization, and given their award as a Guardian of Hope, an annual award, because she is a music therapist at NTDSE, has been able to develop an inclusive choir that includes just every aspect of their student body, and it's really remarkable. Another one of their professionals, an art specialist named Laura Frisch, was recognized by the state as one of the, I don't think she was the ultimate award winner, but was recognized by the Those Who Excel program through Illinois State Board of Ed. And then Jerica Gill, who is a paraprofessional at NTDSE, is one of the final 30 for the Golden Apple Award, which is just remarkable for any para or anyone in an exclusively special education context. Either one of those to be recognized that way is amazing. And the fact that she is both and still has advanced this far was, again, just really cool to hear that the work they're doing there is being recognized in so many different ways. The meeting itself, relatively short but sweet. They gave a presentation on community-based instruction, how they do it, why they do it, and that's where they take their students out into the community for hands-on life skills, on and off campus. They talked about, as some examples, going shopping at Target or Aldi or Walgreens, going to the mall, going to the library, learning how to cook. Just the practical life skills that are really essential for the population that's at their school. Transportation-wise, they've had a long-standing relationship with the company First Student, which was then purchased by Cook, Illinois, and they weren't sure how that was going to play out. They've been able to keep basically the same bus drivers, the same contacts, hasn't affected their student body at all. Job fairs, they are very aggressively in professionally trying to recruit, and they're getting some good traction. That one fair, there were 60 tables, 50 of which were looking for special education teachers and staff. So it's a little competitive, as I think the people in our district know. They have their own union negotiations ongoing. They had an art exhibit by their students at Oakton with 24 pieces displayed. And their basketball team, I don't know if we're at the point that we can call it a dynasty, but it seems like every year we're hearing about their success. This year they were second in state, so good for them. They also, a bit meatier, had a presentation by their behavior committee. An ongoing issue that they're always trying to check themselves on is best practices when it comes to correcting behavior, and in that context that involves far more frequently whether or how to restrain a student than in a non-NTDSE or special education context. They had for a long time been using CPI. They have added UCARU as a trauma-informed restraint-free protocol, and they've been able to show over the last 4 years a pretty significant reduction in the need to go hands-on and use restraints. So they still have areas they wanted to improve on, but that was something they were very pleased with. They gave a little breakdown of what they are projecting for their staff numbers next year, and they think there might be a decrease. And other than that, there is a big retirement party on June 11th for Kathy, who has been one of the rocks there for their finances and sort of core to the whole system. So if you want to go, it's going to, I think, be at Maggiano's, and if I'm wrong, enjoy Maggiano's and let me know. But if you want to go, let me know and I'll get you the right location.
All right, thank you, Jeff. For the first time ever, we have an update from the collective bargaining agreement committee. So Jeff and I have had the privilege of sitting now in 2 meetings that have transpired between the district and the union. We had one yesterday. We're going into our 3rd. By the 4th, all initial proposals will have been put out there. Thank you so much, Dr. Humer and Kenya and Christy and obviously Scott for all the work you've been doing. I feel like I'm missing someone else from the district side who's been with us. Did I get everyone? I'm thinking of Nikki. Okay. It's been really great. I am an overly optimistic person, so take that with a grain of salt. But I do think like everybody is coming in with really good intentions and understanding of what is feasible and not feasible, and just trying to do the best that they possibly can for the teachers and for students. So I'm excited to see where it goes. May, it's going to be really revving up, where we're going to have a lot more meetings, and hopefully we'll have it wrapped up by the end of the school year. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to just keep saying that. All right. Next up is Shira with Collaborative for Curriculum. Any news? Great.
The next meeting is May 18th.
Oh, okay. Jeremy, anything for strategic plan?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. Anything else from any other board members they'd like to share? No?
I'm excited about the play at Old Orchard.
Oh, when is that?
That's all I care about.
When is that? Because last year you guys announced
It's
it.
next week. It's the 30th and the 1st.
What are they doing this year?
Well, you weren't here.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't get to see the
Well,
performance.
you'll have
I'm
to
sorry,
go.
guys.
I'll leave
Okay.
Ryan.
Okay, I'll find out later.
It's a hot ticket. It might be sold out. You could probably stop up.
Last year was so funny. Okay. The next item of business is approval of minutes. May I have a motion?
I move that the board approve the minutes from March 19th, 2026 Board of Education regular meeting and March 19th, 2026 Board of Education closed session meeting.
Second.
Glickman.
Yep.
Lonegro.
Yes.
Roth.
Yes.
Shear.
Yes.
Sturbins.
Yes.
Warshaw.
Yes.
Jordan.
Yes.
The consent agenda is our next item of business. The consent agenda includes the personnel report as posted in the agenda for this meeting, including employee recommendations, new hires and resignations, financial reports, which include fund balances for March 2026 and the statement of position report, pay orders and expenditures, which includes accounts payable, statement of cash flow, and a P card monthly report, payroll report, and policy second readings. Does any board member wish to have any item from the consent agenda removed? If not, may I have a motion and a roll call vote to approve the consent agenda as presented? Anyone want anything removed? All right,
Go for it.
I move the board approve the consent agenda as presented by the board president.
Second.
Lonegro,
Yes?
Roth,
Yes.
Shear,
Yes.
Sturbins.
Yes.
Warshaw.
Yes.
Bill Jordan.
Yes.
Glickman.
Yes.
So it is my esteemed honor to introduce one of our newest team members that was just approved in the consent agenda. Our hardworking team, led by Principal Greg Hansen and Dr. Sam Jedney, organized a hiring committee to identify a replacement for Ferial Otto as she transitions to the principal position at Highland. And we just approved and are here to welcome the newest assistant principal, Mr. Matthew Hunter. We will not make Matthew sing, but we are going to sing his praises. You like that? See what I did? Thank you very much. Matthew is coming to us from D219 for the last 3 years. He's been working directly with newer hires in areas of coaching, professional development, also evaluation. So strong instructional background. Did a wonderful job with the interview process. Really came through with just a ton of passion. Principal Hansen had some really great questions that Matthew had such a student-centered answer to that the committee was all very, very impressed with. Prior to the last 3 years with 219 as a coach, evaluator, and supporter of PD, he was a director of choir at Niles West for 7 years. And before that, Matthew worked as a middle school music teacher for 4 years in District 65. I think that captures it all in a really short way, but we are just so excited to have you with us here. And I just want to say thank you so much for going through the interview process and just bringing all of that heart to the district. We are really, really glad to have you. So welcome. I'm not going to make you do any speech tonight, but just want to say thanks so much for coming out. I know it takes a lot of a busy time of year. Thank you.
and you will have to sing at a meeting. And I know Matthew because he sang at an event I put together years ago, so that's what he's known for, guys. That's how we'll open all meetings from now on.
I think you should write us a board jingle.
Oh my goodness. I like the way you think.
Yeah, when it like comes on for like the YouTube channel. You have a month.
We have real priorities here, okay. The next item of business is the informational reports and discussion items. Superintendent Grenz will provide us with an introduction and next steps. Thank you.
Sure. So before I do that, I just want to mention I did fail to acknowledge a small but symbolic shift that was made with the district logo. So the four
Big
colors
shift.
that were chosen are meant to be symbolic of the 5 schools that are listed there that you see. So the purple obviously representing OGH as well as the Early Childhood Center, the red for Highland, that orangish, lionish color there for Stenson and our friend Leo, and the blue for the Devonshire Dolphins. We thought that the collaborative nature of this, the logo itself, with whether you call it a high five or a handshake or a hand cusp, we thought that was still very, very pertinent and represented the collaboration we want. But also just being the educational service center, we want to make sure that we're servicing all of our schools, our students, and our staff and our families. So just failed to mention that critical point, but wanted to bring it up. Back to the reports and presentations. So with us tonight, we have from Business and Operations, Ms. Kenya Austin, as well as Ms. Farah Ahmad. Farah is our coordinator of HR, a newer position in the district. This is just a regular practice. We're trying to bring more updates to the board and the public from departments across the district. So thank you.
Alright, so we're gonna talk about the human resource highlights. I'm gonna start off and my lovely Farah is going to present the remaining of this discussion. So we're gonna start off with our alignment to the strategic plan. And Farah gave me notes, so I'm gonna read them verbatim. Our human resource department closely aligns with the district strategic plan. We support initiatives related to cultural responsible equity and inclusion by advancing equitable employment practices, supporting our diverse workforce. We also contribute to the social and emotional learning in the whole child by effectively onboarding and supporting staff throughout the employment employee life cycle. In addition to our efforts to support the teaching and learning by strengthening the retention and development of high-quality educators, promoting safe and supportive and compliant work environment, and enhancing communication and engagement through improvement of transparency, responsiveness with candidates and the employees. So now we'll go to the next slide, please. Farah will take it from here. Farah.
Good evening. Our team is responsible for a wide range of functions, which includes recruitment, onboarding, employee relations, benefits administration, compliance, and supporting staff throughout their whole employment life cycle. Our primary focus this year has been on strengthening our systems and processes to better support both current and prospective employees. This includes improving efficiency, enhancing communication, and ensuring that our practices are equitable and aligned with the district's goals. Ultimately, our focus is to create a positive and supportive experience for all employees. A major priority for our team has been attracting and supporting high-quality staff. This involves not only recruiting strong candidates, but also ensuring they feel supported once they join the district. We recognize that employee success begins with a strong hiring and onboarding experience and continues through ongoing support and development. To support this priority, we implemented several key initiatives. We participated in 2 recruitment fairs under the theme Educate in 68, which helped strengthen our district's brand and connect with a broader pool of candidates. We also streamlined our hiring and onboarding processes to improve efficiency and reduce delays. Additionally, we enhanced our communication with candidates to ensure they are well informed and have a positive experience throughout the whole hiring process. As a result of these efforts, we've seen several positive outcomes. We have developed stronger candidate pipelines, allowing us to fill positions more effectively. Our hiring timelines have improved, helping us secure candidates more quickly. Candidate experience has also improved, which strengthens our reputation. Lastly, we remain committed to continuing our focus on diversity in recruitment and hiring practices. This year, we've placed a strong emphasis on enhancing communication and strengthening support for our staff across the district. From a communication standpoint, we've worked to provide more consistent and transparent updates through the ESC newsletter and regular communications. These updates help ensure staff are informed, aware of important deadlines, and have easy access to key information. In terms of resources and support, we focused on making benefits information more accessible and understandable. We've also facilitated retirement sessions to support employees, ensuring they feel prepared and informed as they plan for the future. We've also worked to increase awareness of wellness opportunities and initiatives available to staff. By promoting these resources more intentionally, we aim to support employee well-being and encourage a healthy work-life balance across the district. Finally, we prioritize culture and engagement. Initiatives like New Hire Spotlight help build a sense of connection and belonging, while our focus on personalized support ensures that employees feel valued and supported as individuals and not just as staff members. Overall, these efforts are designed to improve the employee experience, strengthen the engagement, and foster a more connected and supportive workplace culture. Thank you.
Thank you. This is so exciting.
And do you have any questions for us?
I just want to say thank you, Farah, as well as Kenya. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes, and I do feel like this year we're always thinking about ways to continuously improve, but as Farah mentioned, we are way ahead of the hiring timeline than we have been in the past. With last year as an example, things do feel like we're getting a stride as it relates to some of our procedures. I can't stress enough just the adoption and development of digital forms has been a big shift for just facilitating staff needs in a way that doesn't get hung up in paperwork or slow inbox review. It's more streamlined, and we've set up a lot of sequential structures so that the one that needs to approve it is the first one up, it gets pinged, and then it moves on so that we can get feedback back to staff as quick as we can. So I just want to say thank you. It's been a lot behind the scenes. It doesn't always show up, but it also will show up in the new strategic plan. You'll see next month the concepts of strengthening staff recruitment, retention, and professional growth will come out directly verbatim in that plan. So a lot more to come on this in the years ahead. So thank you so much.
Next is you.
Next is us still. All right. We have a summary of our inclusionary practices needs assessment. So Dr. Samajeni will provide a very high level overview. These are just preliminary findings. We just received them less than 2 weeks ago. So still diving in, so I'll hand it over to Christine.
So this is the needs assessment that was conducted through CEC, which we brought to you in January. So just again, alignment to strategic plan, it really aligns to almost everything in our strategic plan in terms of our 5 pillars. Maybe not as much facilities and safety, but you could make the argument there that there is some connection there. So just an overview for you between February 12th and March 9th. We had CEC come in, review approximately 75 IEPs, looking through those with a keen eye towards the way goals are written, least restrictive environment, all the components that make up a quality IEP. They also conducted walkthroughs at the 3 elementaries, at Old Orchard and at Early Childhood, popping into classrooms, seeing what they could see in terms of inclusionary practices. And then they also facilitated focus groups with parents, students, teaching assistants, teachers, both a general ed focus group and a special education focus group, and then administrators. They also conducted a review of all of our school data on our school report card. And through all of that data analysis, they were able to identify a number of successes and celebrations for us. One of which is that we do provide a nice continuum of placement options for our students while we're considering the least restrictive environment in the development of that IEP and placement decision. We also have a number of collaborative team structures that are in place through MTSS, our strategy meetings, our IEP teams that really work together to think about decision-making around student supports and placements. We also offer, as you know, our specialized programming and targeted interventions, such as our RISE program that's been developed over the last number of years. Our IEPs generally include the required components, and our classroom observations, their classroom observations reflected positive learning environments. One of the things that they talked a lot about was just the dedicated and passionate teachers that are serving these kids, and really pointed that out as an observation of their school visits. So along with some of the celebrations, they did also want to point out to us that kind of where we stand in terms of the state average in relationship to placement of students in general education settings. So this slide is just data that comes directly from the school report card for the 24-25 school year. We have 40% of our students with IEPs who are in a general education setting for 80% or more of their day. That is in comparison to the state average of 55%, so a little below the state there. 30% of our students are in general ed settings between 40 and 79% of the day in comparison to the state average of 25, so we're a little bit higher there. 18% are in gen ed for less than 40% of their day, and that's in comparison to the state average of 14%. And then 12% of our students with IEPs are educated in a 100% separate setting, with no opportunity for general ed participation, so that would be the most restrictive environment, and that is in comparison to the state average of 7%. So the data that came out of our successes, this data kind of helped inform their recommendations to us for opportunities for us to investigate and dig into a little bit further. So here are 4 main recommendations, kind of 4 buckets that they recommended for us. So establish clear district-wide guidance for placement and service delivery decisions so that it's explicit, it's clear, everyone knows what the plan is, make it transparent and more obvious. strengthen our district-wide systems for progress monitoring and data use, expand our inclusive instructional and service delivery models, and then the fourth is just to work to strengthen our IEP goal development and our alignment practices through a few different avenues there. So again, as Dr. Grimm's mentioned, this is very high level. Our next steps really are to conduct a much deeper analysis of the needs assessment and all of the data that comes with that, engage staff with the needs assessment. We will work to put together a learning team for student services next school year, and then align the recommendations to strategic plan goals, our new strategic plan goals, where is applicable, and then develop some action plans beyond that. Probably a multi-year plan in order to accomplish those goals. So that was fast and high level. Any questions for me?
Just a little one.
Yeah.
Did this also cover the total percentage of kids that have IEPs?
Yes.
What, do you know what it is offhand?
Our total percent of students, I do not know that off the top of my head.
19.2 was
You.
the last year. The state average is 16.3.
I asked for you. Get involved. Thank you.
So a lot more to come on this. Again, I keep echoing it because it is a big deal for us, but in the next board meeting, you'll see the strategic plan, which will have elements that are much more articulated around equity, and we'll align it to inclusivity, not just in terms of cultural recognition and celebration, but also academic practices, as well as building out plans for how to accomplish that. So a lot more to come on this. Again, just a high level review. It was fresh. You supported it as a board, so we wanted to make sure you saw the results as quickly as possible. So a lot more to come. So thanks, Christine.
Yeah.
And thanks, Elisa, and John as well. I think I have the next one.
Yep.
So intergovernmental agreements has just been a running agenda item in the district for the last several years. And typically we bring it forth when there's an agreement for approval, but we don't have any that are up. But I just wanted to give you an update as a board about what IGAs we have currently in place to just kind of help you make sure that you're aware, but to also reiterate for you that we're also aware, and we do monitor the updating of those, as well as storage and making sure that we're maintaining what's required of us in the IGAs. The first is the ELL Parent Center. That duration is from 2024 to 2027. So just as a reminder, that involves 219, us at 68, 72, 73, and 73 and a half. That helps us have the amazing ELL Parent Center here on site, but it does also service those other districts as well. So that is one of the IGAs. The next is the Skokie Park District, which focuses primarily on our after-school club programs. That has also been a running item here in the district. That one does require annual board approval. We typically bring it here in the fall, and that helps us provide programs both in the winter, spring, etc. The North Cook ROE is a newer program. We've always been in and out of partnerships with the North Cook, but we're working more with them now with the ALOT program that we're excited to bring forth. So everything from attendance to even some elements of social emotional support for students. They're a great asset and a huge partner for us, even in just daily operations, but we're excited to take advantage of some of their other resources as well in support of our students and our staff. NCDSE obviously is a huge partner for us. That's just an ongoing partnership here that has an IGA as well. The Village of Skokie, video surveillance access. This is a few years old. This is just designed so that in the event of a dangerous situation in which there was a proven imminent threat, the police department would be able to access specific cameras to support and ensure some safety with that possible threat. Never had to use it, thank goodness, but it's a common practice in many school districts across the United States today. And then the last one is our newest with 219, the Collaborative for Curriculum, just approved by you as a board in the summer of June, and that's a long one, it goes out through 34. We're excited. That's going to be the literacy recommendation coming soon from that work. And obviously, the more we can partner with 219, the more it supports our students and our community as a whole. So we're excited about that. So I just want to give a quick run through of those IGAs. Any questions at all for me about any of those? We'll keep doing this as a practice. We have an administrative procedure to update ourselves, but if you want more information, I'm happy to bring it to you as well. Sound good? Great. Thank you.
All right, the next item of business is the approval of the final school calendar with the last day of school on Monday, June 8th, 2026. May I have a motion?
Move that the Board of Education approve the final school calendar as presented with the last day of school on Monday, June 8th, 2026 for all staff and students in grades K through 8 and Friday, June 5th, 2026 for early childhood students.
Second.
Wrong?
Yes.
Shear?
I have to.
Sturbins? Worshaw?
Yes.
Paul Jordan?
Yes.
Glickman?
Yes.
Lonnie
Yes.
I don't want school to end.
Roll.
Right, guys?
Oh,
365 days a year.
Okay, alright, the next item of business is the approval of the final Board of Education regular meeting calendar for 26 to 27. May I have a motion?
Move that the board approve the final Board of Ed regular meeting calendar 26-27 as presented.
Seconded.
Did you wanna go through the dates?
Can I just comment on it? Do I do it after the approval?
Yeah, do that
Is
now.
now okay? Yeah, so just to highlight really quick, we did add, this is new, we added a potential anticipated early start time on October 15th. Similar to Jill's sentiment, I just want to spend more time with all of you. So 5 o'clock, we are hoping will allow us to have more time for a closed session on our annual self-evaluation. So we thought we would bake that in advance so that you know when that is anticipated to take place. And then the other session that we added is an organizational meeting, April 29th. So it is a board election year in 2027, and in the past, that organizational meeting has been added on during the year. So we wanted to allow enough time for votes to be certified, but also enough time for any transition, should it take place, to have board members be supported before the May 20th board meeting, where they would have to make a decision that they need to be educated on. So those are just two small nuances that are different. Hopefully that works for everyone in advance. Otherwise, obviously, like always, we can work to change things as needed. So we have a quorum, but wanted to highlight those in case they weren't caught earlier. Thank you.
Shear?
Yes.
Sturbins?
Yes.
Worshaw?
Yes.
Paul Jordan?
Yes.
Glickman? Lonnie
Yes.
Roll.
Yes.
All right. The next item of business is entering into closed session of the board. May I have a motion?
I move that the board enter into closed session for the following items. Collective negotiating matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salaries, set schedules for one or more classes of employees per 5 ILCS 120/2 C2. The appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees, specific individuals who serve as independent contractors in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or specific volunteers of the public body or legal counsel for the public body, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee, a specific individual who serves as an independent contractor in a park, recreational, or educational setting, or a volunteer of the public body or against legal counsel for the public body to determine its validity. However, a meeting to consider an increase in compensation to a specific employee or a public body that is subject to the Local Government Wage Increase Transparency Act may not be closed and shall be open to the public and posted and held in accordance with this Act, 5 ILCS 120/2 C1.
Second.
Sturbins?
Yes.
Worshaw?
Yes.
Paul Jordan?
Yes.
Glickman?
Yes.